I, in some ways, still stand by this quote. Reality is an illusion. The universe is a hologram. That nothing is true. Everything is permitted. These are the quotes that I live by. It made me realize that we have to put faith in ourselves. And when it comes to laws, it was not given by divinity or divinement, but by logic and reasoning. See, we have to put faith in ourselves in order for us to make things happen in this world. But at the same time, we also have to see the world for what it is. And for what I see, it's neutral, but with humans, it's very catastrophic. It's very negative because of our nature, I guess. Listen, the reason I'm talking about this is because I've heard some stories about the rich and the poor. You have the poor hating on the rich, and you have the rich hating on the poor. Because I've heard stories of, for example, I've heard stories of Hollywood child stars, and when they went to a regular public school, they never fit in. Not because they thought that it was better than the other kids, it's because that the regular kids who lived in middle class neighborhoods or low class neighborhoods didn't accept her because they was from Hollywood. Because listen, I'm gonna be real with you, man. The regular people were just hating those regular kids or teenagers were just jealous of the Hollywood kids that were trying to, live amongst the regular people. They was jealous of them because of their fame and their money and their prestige, and vice versa. I also heard stories of regular people, like regular kids, who are gifted, and they go to a prestige school, and those students in those prestige schools, they would pick on the regular kid because they knew that the regular kid did not fit in with the rest of them because they didn't grow up in a high class society. They never grew up in a high class neighborhood. So they came from the commoners. They're basically Commonwealth people. So it's kind of like a back and forth, topsy turvy type of thing. When it comes to the rich versus the poor. And yeah, like I said, man, it doesn't matter if you're from the high class, middle class, or low class. A lot of people are just full of shit. Whether you're from the highest of the high or the lowest of the low, many people are full of shit. And I know I've been saying this for the longest, but it's the truth. It's for what I've seen, in so-called reality. Even though reality is an illusion, I still see the world for what it is, and how people congregate with each other. You know what I'm saying? How people deal with each other. And also, this is off topic, but it was just one guy. It was a couple of guys that I talked to a while back, and they was talking about marriages and all this stuff, being married. This is off topic, but they was talking about being married. And both of those dudes said that when it comes to marriage, in their opinion, it's all about how much you can deal with that person. It's all about how much can you deal with that person's bullshit. That's all what it is. People want to talk. They said that people want to talk about love and companionship and all that stuff. He said bullshit. It's all about It's all about how much you can deal with that person. And you know what? Even though I'm not married, I don't have any kids or whatever, I ain't got none of that shit. But I can somewhat relate to that because when it comes to a relationship or a marriage, it's all about dealing with each other. It's all about dealing with each other, whether it's for the good or bad. But it's how much you can take each other's mess or drama or backlash or whatever. It's all about how much can y'all take from each other. It's all about how much can y'all take, what I'm saying, from with each other. You know what I'm saying? It's all about how much you can deal with each other. That's all. And it kind of makes sense too. And I realized that no wonder the marriage rate. I mean, no wonder why the divorce rate is so high. And in my honest opinion, the main reason why the divorce rate is so high is because, like I said before, number one, we don't know ourselves, and number two, we don't know how to properly choose our mates. But back in the day, back in ancient times, there was a thing called the courting system where you had the elders will pick out the finest mates to deal with each other, shit like that, the courting process of how it was many years ago. But nowadays you don't have that. You have a lot of people that just go with the flow. They just get married based on their feelings and all that stuff. What you call it, the so-called puppy love dog phase, the puppy love phase. People just want to do a lot of crazy things based off of love and all that stuff. And in rare occasions it does work, but in a lot of cases, from what I've heard from different people, from different testimonies, it don't work like that. You have to have a good, strong, intelligent mind to choose the right person in order for you to be with for the rest of your life. You know, I don't have that type of, what I'm saying, I don't have that type of ability to do that. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't, judge my decisions based off of feelings a lot. I really don't. But when it comes to choosing a mate and all that stuff, man, I'm not the best at doing that because I don't have too much experience in that. But it is what it is. Overall, I'm just calling out my weaknesses when it comes to love and finding a mate. Like, I'm not a master of that. I'm not a master of finding the right person for me and all that stuff. Hell no, because I realize that life is a journey. You know what I'm saying? Life is all about trial and error. But at the same time, like as an individual, like me as an individual, I don't need to fall in the same snares and pitfalls and traps as the previous generations have done. When it comes to marriages and all that stuff, basically, I want to break the generational curse. I want to break the generational cycle when it comes to having a bad marriage or a bad relationship. I don't need to continue on with the same cycle as what the older generation have done. I don't need to take the same route as the older generations have done when it comes to getting burnt, when it comes to getting burnt in relationships and marriages. There's other avenues. There's other ways to excuse yourself from that. There's other alternatives. There's other alternatives. Believe that, man. But yeah, man, but I digress on that, man. But overall, when it comes to, dealing with the rich, poor, middle class, whatever, man, for the most part, man, a lot of people are full of shit. And we can find a common ground, but, based off of people's arrogance and ignorance, it's not going to work out for the most part. Because, like I said before, mankind's arrogance and mankind's ignorance when it comes to people's our backgrounds and all that stuff, you know what I'm saying, it usually don't work. It doesn't work. So hey, it is what it is, man. The only thing I need to do is just find what works for me and just master that and just move on forward. Because life is too short for the bullshit. And life is too short to think about the past because you can't change the past. All you can do as a human being is learn from the past and do better in the future. That's all I can tell you. It is what it is, man. But that's all I gotta say about that, man. Shit, that's all I gotta say. So yeah, man. So I thank you so much, and have a good day.